Hello, Rob here from Another Day, Another Walk. And if you're new to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button so you can see all my content. Right, now I'm going to answer a question that quite a few people have put in the comments. Now, it's about my dog. What kit do I take on either a wild camp or just a hike in general? And here are my top 5. So let's go. Number 1, really important to keep them fed and watered. So just got some normal treats, and I tend to take a dentist stick as well, so when I stop and have a sandwich she has one of those. Look, she's perked up now, isn't she? So you just have to make sure that when you do go on a walk and you stop, that you don't feed them too much, because with the amount of exercise your dog's going to get, their bellies can actually get a bit knotted if they eat too much. But I tend to just keep some treats in the side pocket of my bag, just so I can get her attention when I need to. Now, when I'm out camping, hiking, wild camping, I always take this bag or a bag that's very similar. All my bags have hip belt pockets. Now, I do this because I go hiking with my dog, so this side I can keep treats. So if I need her, I can just say heel, she'll come to me and I can give her a few treats. This side, well, we know what dogs do, just like we do. Poo bags, all right? It saves me stopping, opening my bag to get one. I can just get it in there, pick it up, either put it in a bin or I just tuck it in the side pocket here until I can find a bin. Just there, tuck it in, so I don't have to take my bag off, and it makes it much easier. Treats, poo bags, boom. Another part, little bowl. Just have a collapsible bowl, just so I can put water in, and also when I go wild camping I put a food in there as well, so I just use the same bowl. Most of the time I don't actually get to put a lot of water in here, because with all the streams and puddles she ends up drinking from them, and whenever I put water in it she doesn't actually drink from it. She prefers dirty water to clean water, don't you? Prefer horrible dirty water to clean water. But yeah, it's always important to have that available, and then you can just put their food in there. Number 2, it's really important to keep them warm and dry, especially this time of year when it's raining all the time and it's really cold, potentially snow about as well. Now, I have 2 sorts of coats for her. I've got this one here, which is insulated on the inside, and then it's quite hard wearing on the outside, and it's waterproof. Well, as waterproof as a dog jacket can come. You can't really get Gore-Tex dog jackets anyway. Has a little part there for a lead to come through if you need to, and just some nice detailing around the outside. Now, this will be if we're walking long distance and it's raining hard, I just want to keep her a bit warm if it's a cold day. That's when she'll put that on. So if it's really cold, snowing, raining heavy, that's when she'll wear that one. But there is another one that we use. If it's been raining, but it's not that cold, and then she comes into the tent, you don't really want to be cuddling up to a wet dog. So that's when this one comes in. And it's really good because it's essentially just like a dressing gown / towel for her whole body. It's got Velcro to go around the inside, just wrap that around her belly, I'll show you in a moment. And it's got really nice detailing of like a faux leather around the outside. Again, if it's cold, I can put her in this, or I can use it to keep her dry in the tent. So, obvious one, need the lead just to keep her safe, so she can be under close control when you're going through those fields with livestock, or if you're by a roadside. So I've recently got these little booties. Now, originally they were for when we were doing like winter walks for a long time. Although dogs' paws are different to our hands and feet, their blood constantly circulates. Our blood starts to stop going to your extremities, but dogs don't do that, so it does stay warm. However, with her fur, she gets ice balls and like clumps of ice, and I've tried using like some sort of Vaseline. Someone suggested Vaseline, and that does work for a certain amount of time, but then the ice balls still come there. So I got these, so when we walk in the snow, she won't get any ice balls around her toes. which will be helpful, won't it, baby girl, is a towel. Really small, microfiber towel. Packs down, really nice and small, doesn't weigh much. And I can use it to dry her off, eh? Hey, Bobo. And later on, you'll find out a second purpose for that as well, so keep watching for that. Number 3. Now, this depends on the time of year. It's a sleep system. So, I've got the sleeping bag that she'll use in the winter. Then, if it's spring, autumn, where it's not too cold, that's when I'd probably just use her dressing gown towel, just for that extra layer. And then in the summer, I find that she doesn't really need anything. This is her little sleeping bag. Now, I looked for actual dog sleeping bags, and to be honest, they were massive, really heavy, bulky, not the best. But this is actually a baby's sleeping bag that they use in their walkers, in their strollers. Obviously, we always take a ground mat for ourselves. And dogs, although they probably don't need it as much as we do, it's nice for them to have a bit of space that they know, that's my bed, that's where I need to be. So if I say to her, get on your bed, she'll go sit there. And all I do is I use some of the things that I've already got. I use a mixture of her towel and my seat pad. So I put the seat pad down, and then I put the towel just over the top, and then she knows that's where her bed. So lie on your bed. Bo, come here. Lie down. Lie down. All right. She knows that's her bed. When we're in a tent, she tends to curl up much more, and I can always open that towel out even more if she wants more space. Now, if it's really cold, say we're doing a snow walk, snow camp, depths of the winter camp, just go on your bed, this bed, good girl. That's when I'd use her sleeping bag. So I'd have this same setup underneath, and I'd put a sleeping bag on top, like that, so she's got a bit of insulation from the ground, as well as her sleeping bag. That's it, come here. That's it, good girl, lie down. She likes it, she knows she feels safe. I can zip it up. There you go, good girl. You like that, don't you? She loves camping. Got the tent out the other day and she was straight in it. But that was just in the living room, so I think she was a bit disappointed. But yeah, so this system's quite good because you've got some insulation from the ground and you've got the sleeping bag as well. If you go in really extreme, you could always put on one of the extra layers, either her coat or that dressing gown towel thing that I showed you earlier. But that would have to be really cold for her to do that, because I find even with this sleeping bag she gets quite warm. That's why I don't do it all the way up at the top. Good girl. Now, dogs are actually quite good at keeping themselves warm. You will be surprised. But it does depend on your breed of dog. Small dogs are going to struggle more than big dogs. And obviously dogs that are designed to be outside, like huskies or mountain dogs, they can probably go down to a cooler temperature. But most dogs are all right down to about 2 or 3 degrees, some down to 0, obviously if it's the mountain dogs. But that is without the wind chill. Obviously, if it is, say, 6 degrees, but the wind chill's taking it down to 0, you need to take that into consideration. Having something like this in the winter is really good for her. Or if I go site camping, I'll take this as well. So if you're worried that your dog won't get into a sleeping bag like this, you can just use your towel to put over them. Or sometimes I've used my down jacket as like a little layer over the top. But the main thing is, start off with it like this, and just zip it completely open so it's just flat. And then when they're lying on it, just give them treats. And they'll start to associate the sleeping bag with good treats. And then eventually you can start to zip it up and again keep on giving treats. And then before you know it, they love it. They'll just go straight into it like she has, and they know when they go camping, they've got a nice place to be warm. Number 4. Right, so number 4 is an important one, and it's about checking your dog. So obviously have a look in their ears, both ears, check their eyes. Now I find, especially in the summer, she's a nightmare for getting seeds in her eyes, so I have to have a good check on her eyes. Also, I was with a dog the other day that had quite a bad stick stuck in their mouth. So you'd have a check in their mouth. They don't really like it, but you have to do it. And then while you're camping that evening, just give them a bit of a stroke, reassure them, but check for any like ticks. In your first aid kit, I suggest having little tick removers. I've got 2 sizes. Now, they're good for dogs and good for people, so it's perfect. So, say there was a tick just on the top of her head, I'd just slide it on, and then I'd gradually twist, and then it should come off. And then again, give them a treat to show that they've done really well. Now, plasters don't work on dogs because they're so hairy. So there's a few things we can do about that. So say you have been out on a walk and your dog's cut themselves on a bit of barbed wire, bit of, unfortunately people leave glass or rubbish, or just sharp rocks. A bandage is great, so you can use the bandage around them, or as well as, you've got this stuff, it sticks to itself. It's like a little bandage that sticks to itself. Paw, well, paw, give me a paw. Good girl. So you've got a pawly paw. So I can wrap that round there and it will stick to itself, just like this. I've used this a few times. As long as it's not actually on the wound, you can use it more than once. So if you put a bit of bandage on the wound to stop it getting infected, then this you can have at the end of it. I think she's got a poorly paw now, bless her. Now, if I know it's going to be a very rocky hike, before we go hiking and potentially after, or just after, either or, I've got some paw balm. So it just moisturises her paws and stops them from cracking because they can get quite dry. And it's completely safe, completely natural, but I just get a little bit and I'll just rub it into her paw like this. Okay, rub it into the paw, all the pads, and it just stops them from cracking, especially when they're in or out of water and it's going wet and dry and on the rocks. Good girl. And the other way. And again, first time you do this, just keep giving them treats. Number 5. Right, number 5 is really important. Potentially maybe the most important on the list. Now, to keep your dog safe, you need to know your dog's fitness levels. It might be that you only go to the park and throw the ball for half an hour, and then you trying to do a 20-mile hike, and they're going to struggle, especially if they're off the lead, because you do a 20-mile hike, and when dogs are off the lead, they're probably doing a 40-mile hike, because they're everywhere. She's vroom, 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 everywhere. So know your dog's fitness levels. Build it up. If you want to do that 20-mile hike, start off with a 5-mile. Then build it to a 7, a 10, a 15. The whole time, you're getting the training in, and so is your dog. Because like I say, they will be doing a lot more than what you are. Especially this one. Swimming, running. Went up Penny again, and she decided to run all the way to the bottom and then run all the way back down. Done the same at Helvellyn. She saw a bit of snow on the side and thought, yeah, I'm going to have a look at that. So she's all right, but she does a lot more running and a lot more activity than what I do. I've forgotten to mention one thing, and it's probably the most important thing. Make sure you and your dog has fun. That's why you're hiking in the first place. You've gone out to enjoy the countryside, enjoy the mountains, and you've taken your dog because you love them. I know I love seeing her enjoying herself, having a swim, running up and down mountains, causing a bit of trouble, eh? And I wouldn't take her if she didn't enjoy it. So make sure they enjoy it just as much as you do. That's everything I have for camping, wild camping and hiking with my dog. If you want to see a video of us using some of the kit, her causing some trouble, that video there is perfect. So click on that, have a watch, and I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself. So bye from me, and another day, another walk.